Alright, for our first exercise, we'll be doing the military shoulder press. You're going to pick up your weights in a squat position, keeping your back nice and straight, and we're going to be sitting down also. The first thing you're going to do is bring those weights up to your shoulders, and you're going to stand above your head and back down. Progression of the exercise to bring the weights in closer in a different plane. Our regression would be to use a band to make it a little easier. Some common mistakes that we see is leaning too far forward or extending the back too far back. You want to be nice and straight. And also you might see the weights going at different times, so you want to go up at the same time. The next exercise that we'll be doing are squatted rows. So you want a nice comfortable base about shoulder length apart in a squatted position also, with their chest nice and tall and back straight. And with your arms extended, you want to row back. And as you row back, you want to squeeze the scapula also. A progression of the exercise would be supersets, keeping one arm out and bringing one arm in. A regression of the exercise would be seated rows. Some common mistakes that we see are a rounded back as you're pulling. You want a nice straight back, and also you'll see elbows flared out too. You want to keep those elbows in. The next exercise that we will be doing are the standard squat. So you also want a nice comfortable base about shoulder length apart. You want to keep your back nice and straight, and then you want to bend at the hip, then at the knee to about 90 degrees, and then power through with the heels there. A progression of the exercise would be single leg squats. A regression of the exercise would be just squat into a seat for corrective form. Some common mistakes that we see is a rounded back. So you want to keep a nice straight back as you're going down, and you'll see valgus and varus of the knees too. Our next exercise that we'll be doing are farmer carries. So when you pick up your weights and you want to be in a squat position, nice tall chest. And then you want to make sure your shoulders are squared and not rounded, and there's no tilting. And you want a nice straight back also. So progression of the exercise would be regulated breaths throughout the exercise. And a regression would be a unilateral carry with just one hand. Some common problems that we'll see is extending the back too far or too far forward. So you want a nice straight back. And you'll see tilting too, so you want to make sure that they're staying as still as possible. Our next exercise that we're doing is the bird dog on the ground. We're going to be having our hands below our shoulders and our knees below our hips with a nice neutral spine. And we're going to extend out with our opposite arm, opposite leg, all the way out and then back in. A progression of the exercise would be for your knee to touch your elbow and back out. And a regression you would see is doing one arm at a time and the opposite leg. And then some common problems that you'll see is a rounded back, so you want a nice neutral spine and extending fully all the way also. And that is it, folks.